So, we're gonna have another Distant Worlds playthrough. The previous one got a bit screwed up as someone wanted to find it necessary to Skype call me without asking beforehand. How dare they? Sadly it was family, so I had to pick it up. But anyways, I'll redo that piece. I know what I did back then and it was only 10 minutes into it, so not far at all. But this playthrough, we've actually started beating back the pirates, but they're still a threat to us. Not to mention its occurrence right on the front side. We were using our agent to nick a lot of text. Now, we did unlock some very good text which will be useful for us throughout the entire game, which will leap us forward. But we are still in the shadows of bigger entities. We should start making our name in the galaxy, and by that we should be conquering a race which is no one's friends. Now, how are we gonna commit to that? That's my biggest issue. Well, let's load the save game. Of course, at later save games, of course, let the game run in the background for some time until it crashed. But of course, we are now going to have to play this match. So, if you've got any suggestions, just in the previous video where the bar is added below, please let me know when you have any suggestions for handling certain things. My main reason is that I'm not perfect, far from, and it's a very difficult game. So if you have suggestions on doing this, and I do not intend to become a shadow collaborator as mentioned on the forums, no, I'm not wanting to do that. So, but I am looking into conquering either the Lantar Empire in the south or going for the Boscarans, which are easy targets, and the Boscarans could enhance our warfare capabilities a lot. They are also a threat to us currently, but we are nicking text from them which are useful to us. Now, we are here having our tiny empire. We are soon about to rush through these two texts and unlocking this one, which will enhance our maneuverability of our vessels. But still, for now, we're not doing that well, actually. We have a bad research capacity, only one spaceport, which is leaving us in a vulnerable spot, and we want to turn Ruhan and Valtier into future shipyard centers, which will allow us to build fleets very quickly. But before we can achieve that, we have to bowl at least these two bases. Here we can establish a colony eventually, which, while not being exceptionally good, will allow us to seize this area as a sovereign territory for us, which will strengthen us against the coming conflict against the currents down here, which are letting their colonies grow quite quickly. So it won't be long before we have to start attacking them, and they are absorbing a bit of our population. Not that good actually at the moment. So the goal is currently to have these start acting their jobs. Now we auto upgrade all of them. We don't need to look against to these. They are now upgraded, but combat ships are important. Destroyer should be a torpedo spewing monstrosity. While it has now these things mounted on it and some proton thrusters which enhances its speed, it is 33 DPS potential on it. Adding this to it will of course increase its DPS, but we are looking into optimizations into this vessel, and hooking them in will be harder than one might think, but simply this is a good solution. It's lacking a lot of real damage dealing capacity, but it's at least it has a decent range sticking onto it. It's not a very bad vessel currently, it's just underpowered. Want to upgrade this later even further, but for now this will have to do. The frigate is going to be a support vessel, so we have the concussion missile. We're gonna stick an extra on top. We're gonna add an ion cannon, which will make it a really nasty damage dealer, and gonna add another shield. Now with this, of course, can add another one of these, and for now this will be enough for it. We could look into adding some other nice modules, but for now, this is what we want on top. So, 240 is currently our maximum ship size for now. If we go one over it, we are exceeding our current construction size. Well, we did not want to ditch a standard fuel cell. These vessels are currently going to be support vessels which deliver ECM capabilities to our fleets. Likely these are gonna get jumped, but they are having a good shield buffer and they are actually gonna drop to 20% fleeing, which is the default. And this one is gonna be all kiting business, so it will get 6 missile slots stuck on top. Gets another shield, but it will be staying below 250 for the rest of its lifetime. And will in the future run on one single generator. For now it's not viable just yet. There will be an eventual goal for these vessels to do just that. Of course these should be kiting, so what does kiting require? High thrust, so they get that added on top. They have those two bays which are gonna give them a quite nasty advantage over enemies. Now you may be wondering, why am I going this way with these vessels? They output 36 DP damage each 2.7 seconds, which is decent actually, considering that they are not gonna go fast unless we unlock better engine tech. But this is currently quite toughly armored even, so these vessels will likely be slugging out with enemies. The turn rate is good enough still, they do not need to turn very fast. Of course the exploration vessels also gonna need an upgrade tie. They need to run on one single generator. And they are gonna ditch a few equipment also. At least one habitation module which is gonna be ditched now. The speed is decent enough, but I want to drop them below 12 sectors range, which will increase their speed even further. With this, we are gonna stick an energy collector on top, for a very simple reason. It consumes way less fuel. These vessels actually only have to... They don't need any modifications currently, these freighters, so... The colony ship, on the other hand, could use some. Should be running on one single generator to decrease construction costs a lot. Its range is decent for now. And with that upgrade it can ditch one of these. Passenger ship is okay, the construction ship is gonna require some tinkering. Because with these capabilities it should be able to run on one single generator. It will limit some parts of it, but others will be better through this. Of course, hopefully we can ditch one of these. We're gonna see if that's possible. They can cover 12 sectors now, which is way too much considering what they should be doing. Of course, ditching a few armor components, even one single one, is enough to make it able to cover. With 13,000 hyperspace speed, it's enough. So this vessel is now gonna decrease in maintenance. Gas mining vessel, of course, still looking decent. It's not requiring much of upgrades. The gas mining stations, those are a different story. We want to stick this on top. And through this, they're actually capable of defending themselves better. We're not gonna remove the extra crew space. These had actually also still 3, and they've got 2 energy collectors for now. You only need a single one. Also, they're gonna have the same defensive capabilities as the gas mining stations actually. Of course, it's gonna require a lot of energy to run. Spaceports, of course. Those are gonna be very important. First of all, stick 10 armor on top to make them more resilient. Now, of course, the energy production is pathetic, but we're gonna slap these to 5. And why? Because they do not add much defense value. We're gonna stick 5 of these with them. And actually, they're gonna be equipped with these. Now, why do you ask? Why add fighters on such a base? It's got not much use, but it does have use. And you will notice why. But for now, maybe you can ditch this to 5, which is working. Okay, good. So, it's outputting a shitload of surplus energy, which will allow us to decrease the fission reactors to 4. I expected this not to be able to be decreased, but at least we are able to have some decent defenses on these bases, which are gonna kick enemies' ass. So, they are equipped with an ion cannon and fighters and epsilon torpedoes, so these bases are now gonna turn nasty towards the enemy. And with this in mind, these bases are also dropping slightly in maintenance cost. Medium spaceport here is going to get a similar treatment. Maxus blasters are not useful yet, but we can drop them to 10. Add 5 of these, add 1 of these, add 2 fighter bases. And why 2? Why would you consider adding 2 on these? Also very simple reasons. Actually, we want to have these sticking at 10. So these will be built around 8 fission generators and 10 life support and head modules. That's gonna be their sizing comparison. Of course, the standard cargo base are not that big. They not need to be that big because it's a planetary base. 10 Epsilon torpedoes will enhance the firepower of these bases a lot. Especially since we're about to unlock a torpedo upgrade. Well, these are gonna drop to 15. Its output of 380 of damage. It's now gonna go to 415, which is nasty for enemies. 20 armor on top, which will cause some other components. They will be sticking with 12 fission reactors for the coming time. Well, these concussion, we actually want these ion cannons to be. I don't know if I put them on top of the other, but at least they are actually gonna be this way, and it's gonna gain 4 of these. And why 4? 16 fighters are able to make a shitload of damage on enemies. So with these upgrades, these bases are also gonna be lethal. Enemies will think twice about attacking. Well, labs, I don't want labs on these bases anymore. So the others are also gonna ditch their labs. Now, why are you thinking that labs are really a waste of space? It's true, they do not add much to a base and they do cost a lot. You can just build a separate science base at a specialized location and be better off. So we will be seeing resource shortages probably all over the place in a moment. At least these science bases are now causing the maintenance cost of this small spaceport here, 2060 maintenance. Let's keep that in mind. You ditch 3 labs and it dropped about 100 the maintenance just by ditching the labs, which when you run about 1000 10 spaceports is gonna make a difference on your budget. Well, these energy resource stations are now a bit antiquated for now. They're equipped with 2 single Maxos blasters. No, that's not what they're gonna be cutting it with. They are meant to be nasty to take because they provide us science, so they're gonna be getting a heavy upgrade on their stuff. They're equipped with some nasty equipment now. Also, armor. Of course, the ion cannon cannot miss. So with this in mind, they are gonna be some nasty defensive bases, which add a lot to the defensive value. It will cost a lot more to maintain these now. But what's the use of having some nice research bases when they are easily bowled away by any enemy thinking, oh, it would be juicy target, let's attack it. It's got no use at all to have these science bases then. At least for now, we have 6 weapon labs stuck on them. That makes them 120k produced by default. So, these got 3 concussion, we'll stick another 2 on top, and 2 of these, and an ion cannon. Double the shields, and add 5 armor. These setups, these bases are gonna deliver. Of course, this one is in dire need for upgrades. Its Maxos blasters are not gonna cut it against the new enemies it's gonna encounter. So, instead it will be receiving 10 extra of these, which is a lot. Of course, it's gonna receive 2 fighter bases actually, which are actually gonna increase the size of it a lot. Well, actually decrease it to 1 single one of them. Still, its fission reactors are giving it a lot of power. So maybe we can ditch 1 life support, well we cannot currently. I do want to add an ion cannon to this base. Just because they are able to knock out enemies' weapons. Okay, so good. Other stuff is upgraded now, so let's get going with this round. We have, of course, our finances are looking quite good. 17k profit, but the goal is to establish a spaceport, and we have now advanced warships. We have here 3 fleets, all being quite decently. This one took a beating but is still running. Our spy, on the other hand, is still trying to make enhanced shields, which will result in us having a bit stronger shield. Well, we're gonna have to build this fleet. It's gonna be built around a core of 6 destroyers. This is really an attack fleet. 4 support and 10 kiters. Well, you might wonder, why the hell would I want to build such an expensive and big fleet? It's an expensive and big fleet for my empire's size, but it's gonna be the main warfare fleet. And the 7th fleet will be one of, hopefully become eventually a 4th fleet. Yeah, of course, they're gonna rename it, and we're gonna name it Assault 1. To make it identify from the rest of fleets, like this is a dedicated warfare fleet, not just some patrol fleet. So, also the difference between different other fleets is that they're gonna be based at our homeworld, Kamas. The others all have the colonies as their bases, which is sometimes smart, sometimes not. These vessels are gonna be tough to beat. I think the destroyers will be some vessels which enemy will think about twice of attacking. It will be hitting... Okay, so here's something under attack, and we're gonna have a look at it. They belong to the 5th fleet, which is having... and it's this dangerous vessel. No, you guys are gonna be retrofitting at the nearest location. So, and they're gonna raid this colony now, which is gonna be getting a little depopulation decrease now. But of course, this is the bulk of their firepower in this fleet. This vessel being the primary firepower dealer, we're going to want them to lose that fleet. So, the plan should be, generally speaking, to knock that fleet away from space. So of course, we are now having an attack going on here, which is... they're gonna try to invade this planet now, to raid it with 1 vessel. While they're at it, let's see our relations with other races. Of course, these Boskarans are dangerous. They are only at war with Kuroks. Both races not to be liked by any bit by other races, so would provide an ideal target to just parasite on. So this destroyer here is getting built, and it's getting some decent firepower. So they raided the colony over here. Some good force. This colony is just a buffer colony. It's gonna keep the enemy away for some time, but not for too long anymore. So this fleet is almost done with production. Now the fleet is online. I'm gonna give it a test run. This ship here is raiding a colony of ours. Well, they are going to win for now. We are gonna be attacking that single ship and destroy it. Now we are making just a profit, and they are offering us a discovery now. Of course, we are wanting to know what these destroyers will yield now in firepower. 85, that's nasty. For an early game ship, that's nasty, and we will see the end result on this little vessel now being washed away. Look at that. Now, are we gonna gamble this fleet to have it attack it, or are we gonna build a spaceport on this planet here? And they are gonna lose the raid actually, so fleet, patrol this planet, because we want to be attracting the enemy attack here. So this colony should be starting to redevelop itself, and it's gonna have to build a small spaceport right now. This will attack that big guy fleet to attack, but I don't care that much. And fleet 4 is currently not that strong, but the assault fleet is really 1000 firepower sticking on a single fleet. This early in the game is simply something Ah, enhanced torpedoes, we've unlocked that, okay. Well, we are going to have to unlock those shielding tech, which is above here. Of course, I am looking into nicking enhanced shields finally, but we are going to be able to tech this fairly easily, so I'm doubting between nicking hyperjump inhibiting, but I think hyperjump inhibiting would be a nice one to do after. So, enhanced engines also something we are wanting to grab eventually. Now, our agent here is now just having its espionage skill at 32%, which is really good. Now, I don't know how long these Boskarans are gonna stay alive, but enhanced shields is something I want to have. So grab it. This guy is just staying home. It's an inspiring presence agent, which is just simply something you want to have. So, the Kiadia colonies have finished construction this installation, which is gonna give us a severe disadvantage. Now, look at this. We unlock some more. This is in a pirate system. Of course, both of them are. This one is in our home system. Build and send colony. Well, it's the best way to unlocking that stuff. But we are wanting to unlock this shit planet now with a spaceport. And then I have to immediately bunker it up. So, while this colony is now trying to build this stuff here, it's a fleet which is going to be guarding. The 6th fleet is going to help with guarding this planet, which is now trying to build this structure. Now, in terms of weaponry, enhanced maneuvering, light torpedo bombers being unlocked soon, enhanced commerce. This will raise our spaceport income, which will be this one. Foreign trade being near to nothing. But at least we are going to have to... Oh, it's managed to nick the tech from it. So we got enhanced shields, which are offering now some excellent opportunities at striking back at them. So enhanced shields enhances, of course, our shields. Logic. That's logic. Okay, anyways, the Boskarans are an easy peasy target for us to nick techs from, so we keep nicking them. Next one will be hyperjump inhibiting light interceptors, proximity science structure research, or I think about nicking their specialty tech. And why? It will take us a year to nick it. That's something I want to consider later on actually. Hyperjump inhibiting would be a nice one to nick. Enhanced maneuvering. That's one we're gonna unlock a bit. Enhanced engines actually got a higher priority on my list. So, soon we're gonna make him boost his level a bit more, so we can be nicking that. The Wreckers have pulse wave weapons, which are also quite nasty. So eventually we want to steal them too, so we can mix various rage specialities with each other. Of course, the Xenox have those better shieldings, if I remember correctly. And these guys are going to have to be our friends for now, so I don't know where the Empire is sticking around. These guys are going to war, and they're really on good terms with a lot of people. That's logical with these, so these tend to be quite powerful, the two allies. But I want to get into their alliance group, so... Well, actually, let's see what they want to trade. We want to trade a territory map, and we offer them 10,000 credits for it. Good. Now I know where they're sticking around. That's there, over there. So the Carminas are sticking there, but I don't know what's sticking there. The Kialians below. Might be the Shandas sticking around. Let's check that out. So of course we can sell them some tech, which will be some weak tech. But I'm not having any shitty weak tech to sell. But let's see how much money they will be offering. That should give them access to our tech. They bought just access to a better generator tech. So that means that they're actually still cautious, so they're not selling us the... Lanta Prime is actually on friendly terms. They like our government types, because they're a republic, of course. That's good. That's of course yes, but they are lacking a lot of money. They're not getting something out of that. The Kuok is... I see there are a yellow colony below, which is likely Just wondering if that's the Kuoks, but they have 5 colonies actually, so I don't know. Anyways, the Boskarans are annoyed. These guys could be early game allies to sell some tech to, but they are not having anything of interest to me. Because they are quite equal, but Kuoks are gonna wipe out the Boskarans and turn into a powerhouse through that. Because Vinara's security should be a prime security of prime essence in stealing, so... Because Brisk Treasure is now done with constructing that. Here it is. Let's check our finances, which are looking good now due to selling the tech. And we are gonna be wanting it to build a planet filter, our defensive base. See, that's gonna be its next mission. Okay. So Ruin here is getting attacked, but I think fourth fleet's gonna also enter automated service now. Since there's 2 defensive batteries in this planet, we're gonna be building a small spaceport also here. It's actually trying to retrofit that construction vessel now, lacking a lot of resources for now. At least when these 2 colonies are having their stuff done, our final goal will be to upgrade the final bits of our empire. Okay, so the Marisolis is colonizing that planet, and we are going to commit a strike with our assault fleet on their pirate home system in the backyard. Oh, nice, we are making enhanced engines now. It's almost done teching now. Just directly due to this. Well, we can keep nicking stuff from the Boskarans actually ad infinitum, so we are finishing the enhanced engines nicking. 3 months on the ticker where it's going to be keeping stealing from the enemy. It's no problem. So with this in mind, we are actually building this small spaceport at Thaltir, which will make the 2 colonies start develop even more quickly. Gaining a sizable Xenox population in our empire is also a good goal to pursue, because they like us. And we have colonized little worlds in our home system now, so that will cause our population to start rapidly growing. This colony is now being colonized. It will not add that much in the beginning. You can of course command it to immediately build a small spaceport on the planet. Ooh, we captured off the Backstorm Marauders and Asians. So we're now trying to steal the next bit of enhanced engines from the enemy. With enhanced engines, we are actually now getting this going. So Valtir and Ruhan are of course. We have now better engines. Advanced enhanced maneuvering is coming now. Good. So thrust increased. We are looking into fusion physics for our military craft very soon. It's more efficient of course, but it's also so we can field more military ships in total. They will be having less power each. Let's look into the Boskarans and see what they also have to offer. Devastating plasma charge is something I want to be starting to grab right now, so let's try it for a year. Let's have 90% success rate. So it's gonna have to be about this. Of course, character locations are currently. Just wondering if it's placing my fleet commanders, of course, in the fleets. Well, go and assault here. Fleet Admiral is going to be spearheading this fleet once it's done building this stuff. This colony is quickly getting its spaceport set up now. Enhanced maneuvering is giving us a thrust factor, which is enhancing our maneuverability of the majority of the ships. Good, enhanced ship size, and I think achieving that one robotic repairs is good. Maybe we see in a Kuro Empire and can nick this with our engines. You notice that I'm really not caring much about diplomacy just yet, because we're an underdog. And I think if we bunker up our prime planets, we should be able to keep our economy alive, regardless of what happened. What was I telling an Ikuros system? The Ikuros are fairly nearby, and they are conquering the Linkar Empire actually. So with this happening, we should start getting those two under our control. Could use that war to our advantage. But I think the Sakurans are not interested in having us. They are a powerhouse beyond imagination, and the only ones coming ever close to us are the Shandars. You usually would see the Boskarans eventually becoming powerful, but nowhere near that. And the pirates are slowly collapsing. The Snissa clans, of course, growing still, or being stable. Blackstone is growing, but that's because I want them to grow actually. I want those guys to grow beyond any size they are currently at. Now, we're having 500k money, and maybe I want to crash research this one. Costs us a lot, but it will give us a lot. It's a sort of trade-off you make, but it will give us a maximum ship size of 400, which will yield us construction. So with 400, we of course can expect to be 310 size or 300 size vessels will be our mainstay then, which will bring up frigates to almost to the intended size. So, of course, constructing so many heavy installations is gonna make our economy suffer for a bit, but it will cause growth beyond imagination very soon. If these colonies are starting to develop in a really fast rate, they gain Sobo, which is giving bonuses of course, because Drunk gives disadvantages. Of course, espionage is now 42%, which will make us able maybe to nick the specialty tech really quick. We've played for half an hour by now. So at the next autosave I will be going to end this let's play. For now, at least this episode. So with this we are getting us right on track. If this episode we are getting spaceports done, we should then be able to unlock the pirate territories, which of course the Sakurans would be eyeing their eyes upon. They want to grab those, but we are able to unlock this area. Of course, we can give our colonization vessels a small upgrade. That there are gonna be enemy military side. Well, I want them to flee when their shields are hitting 20%. The thrust is of course still something, but the thrust factor is gonna give them enhancements. Now my goal is to have these guys sprinting towards a planet and colonizing it. Now that's easier said than done, but of course these guys are now gonna be really trying to rush towards a planet, surviving as pure fire. And I hope our agents won't be caught by the enemy. If we lose them, we lose a big advantage in this game now. But we are unlocking the bigger construction size soon, which will give other benefits. I want to say our maximum research capacity currently is slowly on the rise. And our enhanced commerce will of course eventually allow us. So steel and polymer are being dropped off this colony. Actually I think the polymer is being picked up here. So, steel is dropped off the requirements list, which will make this spaceport finish itself. Should almost be getting in line when the generators are starting to run. So this spaceport is now actually almost getting some energy to use. Evaded the... Whoa! It managed to nick the technology, the specialty tech of the best Boscarans is halfway towards being stolen by us. Now, of course, we have espionage now being really good shape now of this guy. So what if we try to really finish nicking it and set it to 3 months time? It's risky, so I'm not gonna risk that anyways. I'm gonna give him 1 more year to nick that technology. So we are going to have to either incorporate the Kuros, the Lentars or the Boscarans into our empire. That will make our empire very stretched out and very weak for some time. We'll risk. So our leader was very good leader actually, he was very well skilled, so I think the assault fleet here is having no mission at all at the moment, so they're just waiting here at this planet. At least the spaceport here is getting completed now, it's having its final components installed. Once it's done, we're gonna stage an assault on the enemy spaceports. The pirate spaceport, so the Black Storm Marauders are somewhat befriending with us. They are just fine currently. And we want them to grow their firepower, so the Venari should be kept down, and these guys are powerful, simply. At least we are now in a notch for the military race, and we are trying to nick those places there. We want to knock out the Kuros and the Lentars, both of them. Of course, we got a Xenox as ambassador. That means Xenox are a good portion of our population now, and we are indeed losing maintenance costs due to Xenox being a big population amount. Now, of course, spaceport is almost being done here. Foreign build, it's finishing construction right now. 3. Ooh, foreign intelligence. It's likely to be expected that... yeah, I'm quite sure. But now, this is getting online right now. It's all components normal, it's charging its shields now. This planet is now gonna add a defensive base to its arsenal, 2 of them even. So, Valtier got its stuff on the road, so we of course are gonna automate the rest of the fleet so they will change positions to cover their respective areas. Now, these ships have limited range but enough to cover our immediate area, so now we are not too far from unlocking advanced ship sizes, and we are going to have the ruin system soon also getting on its feet. So with those things in mind, it's actually gonna be they are first upgrading the brisk treasure, which is of course requiring a lot of shipments and there's no spaceport. But I think Solo's major lair here is our first target to try our new vessels out on. So, Solost, are you ready to receive a little visit from our friendly fleet here? Now we are not... one tip I can give you is do not jump directly onto such a planet. No, don't. First, jump into the system and see what they're doing actually. You get some sense of you, and with some luck the enemy fleet will jump on top of you without the support of their major base. So we are wanting to see what are they gonna be wanting to do. There's a colossal quake, okay. So it looks like the first ships got out of hyperspace now. And there's no single means of defense here, so that means we could try to capture this, but I'm more happy with destroying it all together now. Brisk Treasure is done with retrofitting, so that means that the Brisk Treasure is soon available for new as well. This fleet is now trying to kill this base, and its torpedoes are mashing into this. It's taking damage now real quick, and I hope no single ships of ours took damage. Good. So with the tryout of this fleet now complete, trial run is complete of them, this will be our next target. And in the meantime, we're gonna want to colonize that planet. So, this too far, but we are gonna be wanting to colonize this. It's really something. Well, we are not interested in that. Actually this guy is now gonna be with the Xenox. So this guy has some really good maintenance savings and ship energy savings, so inspiring presence actually. So any captains in this fleet will be also very good. And of course at Kamas 1 our characters are going to gain good skills. Now the assault fleet is gonna be retreating for now. And I'm going to see what they're going to do with our... If this is building the Kamas Wager, which is a colonization vessel, it's 10% done. Well, no problem. Of course, the next queued order will be moving to this system and actually moving to these coordinates. So Q next mission, move here. Thanks. So I don't need a new empire to have on my contacts list. I am not too far from actually. So 11k is our loss rate, but I hope trade will cover that up. For now it does. So, oh, they have an economic crisis here. Of course, looking at this, Utopia, the Shandos are having an economic crisis, 30% now. So we need to be bowling that enemy base away before we send the colony ship over, but of course refueling these vessels is not demanding that much currently. And Falter is currently developing at a really steady rate, and pirates are becoming less of an issue now. We're well established. We're about to leave the Age of Shadows and about to enter the normal distant world's age. Its events have been disabled because... look, the devastating plasma charge has been stolen, which allows us to use Boscara speciality tech. Of course, we can now start making Ikuro speciality tech for damage control. That would be awesome. But the Ikurans, if I remember correctly, are not that stupid at espionage. The Boscarans are. They are not good at espionage, they are mainly brute force race. Well, Ikurans, I'm gonna try to see if we get these swift robotic repairs going. 3 months will not yield us anything. This is a risky operation still, so no go. But the galaxy map of these guys in 3 months, would that be still risky? Well, then we're gonna continue our old path of making some basic techs. Enhanced transport is nice and unique. The structural research, we want to unlock that of course. So our science does not have to work on grabbing that. Well, I think refueling is about done now. Fleet should be getting ready now to launch itself towards... Yes, there it goes. The colony ship is a slower vessel actually for now, so... And it's only 90% done, and this one is ahead on schedule, so... With our empire now slowly moving out of the obscurity of this, we are going to start increasing our economy. Our colonies are developing real quick. See? This colony is our homeworld, and Ruhan is now starting to develop quickly. Feltier not much behind. The other two colonies are still not worth much. But we are having Reckless in our empire. That could give us a late game warfare advantage if they manage to grow the population enough. But the Xenox bonus is really good currently. We are of course now going to colonize the Kamas. With the Kamas Wager we're gonna colonize the system we're actually going to attack right now. And with that, of course, is the unlock. So, the Feltier defense battery, so Feltier is now secure for now. Of course, our main colonies will soon be having to be equipped. So, structured research is done. Enhanced research would be nice to grab actually. will require 4 times trying to nick it. At least this guy will be getting training even more. I'm just worried about any infiltrators, and with that I'm just trying to enhance research is not in their queue yet. They're actually not having that at all. So this we can go for enhanced storage and enhanced transport, which will either way the techs we like to have, the better stuff here. So we're gonna go for these enhanced storage tech, which will yield us better fuel. Of course they're not liking us now. I wouldn't either if I was getting all my techs nicked. Of course these guys have stopped fighting and the Kuros are about to collapse, so not a that good proposition now. We are eventually wanting to nick that tech or either salvage it from their hulls. Of course this fleet is about to jump into the system, and it's looking entirely unguarded. Well, blast the smugglers heaven then away, and then just patrol the marshy swampland. So, with this being done, we are now going to destroy this base here. We're not dishing out that much firepower on our ships. And with this base now being destroyed, that covers information about something. Yeah, I'm just wanting to check the history. Lost ship location E5, that means E5, somewhere over there. Well, we want to send an exploration ship eventually over, but for now, this fleet's not gonna do anything at all. It's just gonna wait for the real fleet to arrive. So it's just gonna move to this planet. In the meantime, we'll queue a construction ship to build a gas mining station in this system itself, so we have refueling in place. Enhanced storage has been nicked, okay. So with enhanced storage we are now having way bigger fuel cells. Something which is always nice to have, but for now we want to have enhanced cruise systems, would be nice to have. Well, actually I want to be going as fast as we can to these, but we need... So the Casado weapons facility would be a really nice one, but for now we're not gonna have any chance at grabbing that, but we are gonna have chances at grabbing some other nice techs from the Boscarans. Of course I want to declare war on us very soon, so it's of essence. We could actually give this guy a short break and just let him nick the galaxy map in a year time. It will maybe cause really a skill penalty, but of course the Assault Fleet is gonna guard this location and the colony vessel is about to enter the system. So second planet in this system here. This is 2. So it is gonna colonize this planet, so guys, move to this planet. Move to this location here, and do not refuel just yet. There's a lot going on. This is an ocean planet, of course. I should have known that it cannot colonize this. Well, colony ship is colonizing the planet and the fleet is guarding. So, now with this ongoing, we are likely getting our empire well on track to develop itself further. This is a good colony, and with this system we block the Securans' advance to our northern territories. We rightfully secure access to these territories, so diplomatic relations, we are lifting our trade sanction. Well, good. New planetary facility, we can of course build a science academy here, but I actually want to build a small spaceport as soon as possible. And this fleet is actually now gonna try to refuel our ships at planets. Yeah, so if they can refuel here, that will be really awesome. So, are they gonna refuel themselves? Yes, they are. They're actually gonna allow themselves to be refueled. But with bowling the pirates out of this area, we're actually gonna force them, try to at least, force them to attack the Securan space, which for now is the best chance we'll have at beating them. So, just move to this planet now. With this being in mind now, we have the northern territory secured. We are actually going to have this system, which has secure mining station of course. But now we have unlocked these systems. We can be colonizing that planet too. With that ongoing, we are now about to unlock our bigger ship size, which will propel us even further. So, now we have the advancement going quick. We are still having a shitty economy. It's really too shitty to talk about, but we are having chances at unlocking a resort location, which is an exocrine system, which is very distant from us, so it's not a chance, but it is a future resort location. So next bets will be committing an invasion into any of those territories. Actually, there's an empire here of the Kuwok. The Kuwoks are located there, and the Boskarans would not be far from that. So we'll soon know the entire galaxy map of the Boskarans, if all goes to plan, and then we will let our agent tire up a bit more to start nicking the stuff from the Ikuras before they are extinct. Is as an independent faction. So, for now, we are actually trying to... Kamas 1 is really developing itself as an insane income planet. So, we are about to unlock the light torpedo bombers on our shipyarding stuff. Component prefabrication and enhanced commerce. Enhanced commerce will be a really nice one. It will enhance our income. And while we are a trade-oriented empire, our production of stuff is not that well currently. We are not having extended resource extraction in place. Which is, of course, something we have to work on now. We now have to get our economy ready to beat the Securans, and for beating them there's a very simple thing to do. We have to knock these colonies away, which are really quickly developing themselves, like this one. It's having Teekan population and they're getting raided by the pirates, so... Actually, I'm wanting to know if this ice colony is getting raided. It's not, but... You know the troops sticking there are Xenox troops. And they're experienced, so there have been raids, and a spy academy has been built. So for now they are having quite good intelligence, likely going to trying to sabotage our stuff. Of course, the Vinara security are now having only 2 bases left, and they're actually forced to push south to the Securans, so that's good, that goal is attained. Now, we are now going to colonize a bit more planets. Acquiring these planets will be a priority, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to make that happen. The Kiran Prime system, for instance, is in a very weak position currently. And Kiran Prime is not gonna be in any chance at beating back. So Eco Spui has nothing in terms of bases currently. It's in the Kiran Prime and it's not having any chance of developing unless it attains a small spaceport. Well, let's build it. Let's see if our people manage to build it on that place. We're gaining some good trading income and spaceport income, so our resources are increasing. Well, Brisk Treasure is of course done with its mission now. And it's done construction. So, our next goal will be establishing a refueling outpost somewhere over here. We know there's pirates nearby there, which will not be keen on us doing that. So what will be the best goal to commit with the Brisk Treasure? Actually simple, to build an economy in this system. So, we're gonna let it have some luxury mining going on here. And mining some other critical resources in these areas. So, we're already having this being extracted. We want to have critical resources extracted in this system. This looks to be a traditional resource system for the pirates. So I think the Vinara security are now really getting into some deep trouble. With the desert planets now getting colonized in this system, this one for instance. Of course, we are trying to build a mining station there, which is not good. Gas mining here. Of course, lead is a critical resource for a lot of production processes. Steelers too. So we are of course going to have to see which one is trying to build stuff there. So Kamas Beggar is going to build. His construction queue is actually empty for now. But you can see what they have queued usually. Well, not now. I dare to bet that, of course, when the colonization ship hits, it will be casting its order away. Oh, Assault Fleet has seen something. Yeah, they are now going to refuel at the refueling depot there. That's good. Now, designing a vessel with the Shakhtar Firestorm might be... we have stolen the galaxy map of the Boscar Hive, which is giving us knowledge that the Wackarus and the Boscarans are over there. Well, this will likely be two hated empires throughout the galaxy. Kuok are hated by almost anyone, and these guys are too. So, nicking both weaponry types from them before going to war with them would be wise. We nicked the Boscaran tech, and we are going to want to nick this one. It's equivalent of a blast of this thing, but it's way more potent in power, but uses a lot more energy, double the energy. So, the Wreckarus and those guys being thrown off the map would result in some really good things. Well, for now, Miss Regent here has done doing the Boscaran some trouble. We're gonna see if we can commit against maybe some more Boscaran stealing, or maybe Vinara security would be a nice one to steal from. Of course, high energy cohesion is a torpedo tech, if I remember correctly. Holographic entertainment, hey! But of course, accelerated construction is a nice one, they have that. Of course, I think high energy cohesion, I'm just gonna see what in the tech tree that would mean that they are having these two unlocked. Well, the range would make a big difference, but let's see, improved missiles, no one is teching that currently, so it would be a good tech to eventually sell off. And light interceptors is a nice one to grab. Well, we could assist our research capabilities when we nick from Vinara security the other stuff, these accelerated construction. But would that be worth it actually? Because it's a high risk mission then. On the other hand, light intercepts will also remain, so let's see if we can steal from the Kuboks, have them both go to war with us and still be at war with each other. It is very likely to result in shenanigans for them. With efficient energy conversion, it's an engine tech. Engine tech, which is good. Wave weapons, that's what we want to grab from them. In the meantime, hone our spies' skills. So, of course, we are unlocking a lot of the galaxy's populations here. There's some stuff more back there, which is the Dandalas, not Boscaran. Oh no, this is actually Dayut. Also some very nice stuff, but the Boscarans and the Wreckarus are two races we want to eliminate. Really good. And of course, pirates are not gonna bother us anytime soon. Our military strength has risen a lot, but our economy is a shit economy. And I think these guys know that. Our economy is really 6 times as small as these guys, 7 times even. So, with a shit economy, but a military being 1/6, we are actually in trouble currently. But the goal is to lower our maintenance costs. For that we need better command technology. And if we unlock these better technologies over here, 82k is costing our maintenance currently, so... And troop maintenance is also rising due to the higher stuff. So, we are now trying to grab this accelerated construction there, but Cruise is already built, but it will enable us to build resupply ships, enabling fleet operations way behind enemy lines. But our spaceport income is keeping our income positive, so I'm thinking with this new construction vessel is going to construct some new stuff. We are now going to be able to build a resort base. And resort base is of course very something. So with this, we want to stick 4 of these on top, 10 of these. It's gonna be a sort of spaceport size thing, having 2000 base shielding. Of course, between these two, its reload time is 2.9 and 2.9 between these two, but it consumes a lot more power. The Shack-2 Firestorm is something to behold, of course, but for now we're just wanting to make it build itself into a decent sized base. Now we are going to want to equip this with 2 docking bays. It's not gonna have a lot. 10 passenger compartments is going to be installed. Well, of course not quite cargo base, that's good. Fuel cells, it will be equipped with 4. Okay, of course, recreation center is important to have. Command center and commerce center, and of course its HEP and life support modules are important to have. It's lacking any decent firepower for now. Let's add those 4 concussion missiles and 4 Epsilon torpedoes, because those are going to be upgraded in not too far future. The fighter base are adding some nice little bonus to this. Well, the enemy will likely be trying overkill at this base, but that's good. Of course, this is a resort base now. It's not gonna be that cheap to maintain, but actually I might want to be able to give it a little bit more. Yeah, we want to have it 15 of those stuff. Docking bays are really okay currently, and for the rest I think it will be a quite fine base now. 300 firepower sticking on top, 8 fighters on the side, that's really not too shabby. So the hotel is good. Now the destroyer is gonna be getting another upgrade. First off, troop compartment. Now of course this is some very simple stuff to do. We also want to add a little bit of range on top and give it a lot more firepower sticking onto it, but of course it will need some speed enhancements really direly. So 2 extra thrusters on top, and the directional thruster being removed from it. This will be the goal of these vessels. I want to see what the maximum size is of these current vessels. So we can 320 as our maximum size. So after designing this, I will be ending this round. We know now that we can stick a shitload of firepower on our destroyers. Unimaginable punishment on enemies. Now 6 sectors, being able to cover that with its hyperdrive in a decent speed ratio, it's really something. These guys are actually gonna have the rest of their stuff stuck into shields. Eventually Angle will be equipping with 6 shield modules, which should be possible. I think not, just barely. We are going to be able to equip these with 6 shield modules, and they're slow. They got a decent sector range, but of course they're in trouble. Of course, energy consumption on the weapons is very high, really high. Also, they have got an energy collector, of course, so make them not use up a shitload of energy. So these vessels are now being extremely nasty. Now, 119 firepower on a single destroyer. We have unlocked the cruiser now, and this will be our sort of command vessel, which will be equipped with also a hyper inhibitor. But this one will for now just be an obsolete design, I think. Won't be built. On the other hand, these guys are gonna get simple upgrades, auto upgrades. This one's getting an auto upgrade. Freighters, the colony ship, the passenger ship, and all the other ships are getting a basic upgrade right now. So, with enhanced construction size, a frigate is still gonna stick at this, but destroyer is a nasty vessel now. So, rounding this up, we are now, our main goals will be enhancing our economy. It's really depressing of course, would require colonial population growth like craziness. But maybe we can attain that eventually. Ruhan and Falter are quickly becoming primary economies, but these two also well on track on becoming primary economies. They are starting to grow, and this one is an important one to hold, so our assault fleet is sticking there for the coming time. So, we are having a good deal of population growth. So, Ruhan is currently starting to develop slowly, very slowly. Well, it's really... We're going to have to develop these colonies even further for now. But Kamas is the most important one for now. Runan, Falter and Tespes Junction. So, next up will be improving our economy. One of the prime concerns, and trying to seize either one of these two territorial areas. Likely it will be after we seize the speciality tech of the Icarus and the Vacarus that we are going to war. Could dare to go to war against the Securans, but they're with so many races on friendly terms that the Boskarans and the Kuwoks are gonna be our first target to strengthen it and be able to unlock an entire cluster for our race. So, that's the plan. If you got any suggestions, comment or whatever. But for now it will be a good deal to unlock this area. Pirates are no issue anymore, so we managed to save our empire from early destruction, but our future is not certain at all. We have the Securans on the doorstep still, which is troublesome. We could try to eventually divert some of our intelligence resources on trying to make some of their planets revolt and eventually join our empire. For instance, the Zikolai system is likely gonna join us. The Jared Major, I'm not sure on that, but they have a lot of Teekan populations, so they are likely to join us too, or form an independent nation which we can immediately ally and absorb into our power block. But we have seized control of our colonies, we've made the pirates just a nuisance and not an annoyance or menace anymore, and now we are able to start growing. So I'll see you next time in our next episode. Thanks for watching, and feel free to comment, rate, and if you like it,